So in this short video discussion, we are going to discuss about modified Alvarado's scoring system in acute appendicitis and clinical signs and tests for acute appendicitis. So as you all know that the diagnosis of acute appendicitis is essentially clinical, and we have this Alvarado or modified Alvarado classification, which is your Mantel score, which assists in the diagnosis of acute appendicitis. So we have 3 symptoms, 3 signs and 2 laboratory basic tests in this scoring system. So we have a total score of 10. So we will discuss one by one. So migratory right iliac fossa pain is given a score of 1, anorexia is given a score of 1, and nausea vomiting separately is given a score of 1. In signs we have tenderness, which is given a score of 2. This is very important. Then we have rebound tenderness with a score of 1, elevated temperature, that is fever, with a score of 1, and we have leukocytosis, which is score of 2, and shift to left, which is formation of your immature cells, that is given a score of 1. So we have only 2 parameters which has 2 score, that is your tenderness and leukocytosis, and the total score is 10. So now if the score comes out to be 1 to 3, then it is unlikely to be acute appendicitis and will either discharge the patient or find another cause. So if the score is 4 to 6, we will need more investigations to confirm the diagnosis of acute appendicitis, and if the score is equal to 7 or more than 7, then it is likely to be acute appendicitis. So as you can see in the diagram, you have this USG imaging modality where you will see this tubular structure, and as you see here, it is measuring 8 mm in diameter, so more than 7 mm diameter tubular structure which has a probe tenderness is diagnostic of acute appendicitis, and USG is mainly used in children and pregnant females for diagnosis of acute appendicitis. So now we will see clinical tests and signs in acute appendicitis one by one. So the first test which we are seeing is Kopes-Swartz test. So basically what we are doing here is the patient is in the left lateral position. The physician which is there, is passively hyper extending the right thigh. So on passive extension of the right thigh, if there is pain in the abdomen, then this is positive Kopes-Swartz test, and this is more specific for your retrocecal appendicitis. Next test is your obturator test. As you can see, the patient is supine here, then the right leg which is there, it is flexed at the knee, and the examiner performs internal rotation of the hip. So this is the action of your obturator muscle, and if there is pain during this maneuver, then it is a sign of acute appendicitis, and more specifically pelvic position of your acute appendicitis. Next sign which we are observing here is, so this is the right side of the patient, which is RIF here, this is the left side of patient, and when the examiner is palpating in the left iliac fossa, the pain is elicited in the right iliac fossa due to the bowel displacement. So this is Rovsing sign. Next clinical sign is Aaron's sign. So as you can see, the point 1, which is your McBurney's point. So palpation or giving pressure on the McBurney's point gives an epigastric pain. So this is your Aaron's sign. Next sign is Bloomberg sign. Bloomberg sign is basically rebound tenderness due to peritoneal inflammation. And the next sign is Dunphy's sign. So Dunphy's sign is pain in the abdomen, more specifically in the RIF, on coughing. So the next sign is Basler's sign. So Basler's sign is pain in the abdomen, more specifically in the RIF, when you compress your appendix between your anterior abdominal wall and the iliacus muscle. So next and the last sign is your 10 horn sign. So 10 horn sign is basically pain in the RIF when you gently pull the right testis. Okay. Now there is a question for you. So there is a case of mucinous neoplasm of appendix which has led to pseudomyxoma peritonei. So as you can see in the image, which is from Bailey, you can see there is a gelatinous mucinous jelly-like deposition in the peritoneum. This is your pseudomyxoma peritonei, and the question is what is the typical management of this condition. So you can give your answer in the comment, and after a day we'll post a detailed management of the question. Thank you.